Hello, folks, and welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. Well, President Joe Biden likes to ridicule the stock market. He never talks about bonds or interest rates. He frequently criticizes Donald Trump for keeping a sharp eye on stocks as a leading indicator of the economy. Well, Mr. Biden might want to have another think about this stock market business because it's falling now, almost on a daily basis. The broad-based S&P 500 is now off 24% year-to-date, signaling a bear market and a recession. The U.S. Treasury bond market has basically collapsed recently. Prices have plunged, interest rates have soared. U.S. government credit is still okay, but the Treasury market rates have gone up 3 to 4 percentage points this year. The 10-year is about 4%, 30-year mortgages 6.5%. The inflation-fighting Fed's going to raise its target rate to at least 5%, if not higher. The inflation rate itself is stubborn, around 8% plus, core inflation roughly 7%. The GDP tracker from the Atlanta Fed held its number for Q3, held it steady at 0.3%, following 2 down quarters in the first half of the year. It could be 3 down quarters. None of this is good. Really, Joe Biden should be reading the business pages. I'll be glad to help him out with a subscription, free of charge. According to the Gallup poll, 58% of Americans own stocks. Hat tip to my friend Liz Peek for that info. 58% own stocks. That is a lot of people to ignore, Mr. President. Meanwhile, in the second quarter, household wealth fell $6 trillion. It's mostly housing and stocks. Because of inflation, the typical working family has lost $4,200 in real income over the past year. Government pension funds down 8%. The stock market is sending a message, and it is not a happy one. Every time Mr. Biden goes out there and talks about zero inflation and a strong economy, he is begging the credulity of every American. Nobody believes him. Kitchen table prices are rising, portfolios are falling. It's a very bad combination. Mr. Biden inherited a booming economy with virtually no inflation from his predecessor, Donald Trump. And in slightly more than a year, it turned it into a busting recession with record inflation in just over a year, which is not an easy thing to do. And still today, despite what financial markets are telling them, what typical families are telling them, what parents are telling them, what the border crisis is telling them, what the crime wave is telling them, he will not listen. The radical progressive economic model has failed dismally. Mr. Biden has committed the cardinal sin of politics. He promised success and delivered failure. If the big government socialist model was going to succeed, it would have already succeeded, but it hasn't. And Americans are a very practical-minded, common-sense group. If something's not working, either fix it or throw it out. That's why this eye-popping Washington Post ABC News poll is so revealing. In key swing districts all across the country, Republicans now have a 21 percentage point lead. That's right, 21% in the key districts. And Kevin McCarthy's commitment to America is emphasizing all the key issues on voters' minds: inflation, economy, crime, and so forth. I'm sure there'll be a lot of polls in the next month that don't agree with each other. But it looks to me like the GOP cavalry is closing fast. And if they sweep Congress, it's possible there is a stock market bottom in that. Maybe. One can hope. But right now, the stock market is very annoyed at Joe Biden's progressive policies. And because it doesn't seem that he reads the business pages, he's in danger of missing some big-time shock and awe coming right at him. That's what stocks are telling him. That's what interest rates are telling him. That's what polls are telling him. The cavalry is coming. And that's my riff.